This is the bit you've all been dreading, which is the bit that I've been dreading, where I've just got to say a few words. And really, my role is to express some thanks, and there are a number of people I would like to say thank you to. So, in advance, forgive me if this sounds a bit like Gwyneth Paltrow's Oscars acceptance speech, but it's kind of like one bit of thank you after another, and there are very many people that I would like to thank. The first of all is you. Thank you all so much for coming and taking the time to share this very special day with us. And we are blessed to have you with us, and we thank you so much. And it's a kind of a foretaste of family, which I'll touch on in a second. But my first pleasure and duty is to express our thanks to the two glamorous girls in Clarence Street. And Mia, who are now officially my nieces. So I'm that kind of avuncular figure, David. So it's a great pleasure that I give you these. You know what's in it, don't you? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So this comes with our love and our thanks. And you look absolutely splendid, don't you? Beholden on me as well to give you another excuse to raise a glass. So if you would please toast to the bridesmaids.
To the bridesmaids.
Okay, one down, 712 to go. My next task is equally pleasurable, slightly different, and that's to say thank you to my new mother-in-law. Can we have that one again? My new mother-in-law! Mother-in-law! Life's full of surprises. A number of people have said to me today, you look absolutely fantastic. And you look splendid. Splendid. So I'm blessed to have you as well. Thank you. So, as a little token of our thanks, we have for you and there is another mother, but not in-law, that I would like to say.
She's my mother-in-law.
She's your mother-in-law. She's not my mother-in-law. Yes, we won't go there, right? We would just like to say we love you enormously and we bless you. Some of you will know that my mother recently celebrated her 94th birthday. You look absolutely radiant today, and everybody that knows you knows your love for the Lord and His love for you, and just your delight and your charm. And we've got some lovely photos that we can share at some stage of you. But I'd like to thank you. When I was little, my mother used to say, "David, go and get the hairbrush," which was the signal for me to be given a good whack across the bum. But notwithstanding that, thank you for the occasional administration of the hairbrush, but thank you for being a lovely mother.
Thank you for being such a wonderful father.
Act as the intermediary. My mother has this thing about peach as a colour. If it moves in her house, it gets painted peach. Which is why there are lots of peach-coloured flowers in the arrangement.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Right, now then, just a few bits. Some of you here I've never met before until today, and some of you I've got to know. It's interesting, I've been in Ulster now for a tad under 5 years. And when I came to Ulster, of the group of you that is here, and you Steve obviously and Kate, we just met, and I knew Graham over there as well. But by and large, I didn't really know any of you. So to me, this is a joy and an indication of how I have been welcomed and received and the number of friends that I've actually managed to make, genuine, real friends, over the course of that period of time. So that's part and parcel of family, and it's family that I really want to just express my thanks to. To Adrian for a lovely service, and thank you so much for being a great blessing and a great joy to us, and for it's very evident how you have had a very refreshing time with your sabbatical, so good stuff to you and Julia. On the table you will see some lovely flowers from Sylvia Palmer, who also did the flowers in church, to show that it really is family, won't we, Kelvin? Sylvia is Kelvin's aunt. So it's a rather family, and you are part of our family as well, aren't you? Yes, you and Jane are part of our family, so we thank you for what you've done, and we look forward to seeing the bits on the editing floor after you've finished, okay? So thank you for that. Particular thanks to my two roadies who were there this morning doing all the techno stuff. That's Doug and Reg. You might be interested to know we'd never previously, I think I'm right, had a live video link to be able to show up on the screen in the church, a wedding going on. So it was the first. You were all guinea pigs. And I couldn't really see it from where we were, but I guess, and from what you've said, it was really very helpful to be able to see. So that's really good, isn't it? That we can actually look back on that. So my thanks to Doug and Reg, to Sarah, and to Graham, and to Pat Newbold, who's not here, who did the readings, to Sally Bailey, who's not here for the prayers, to Malcolm for the music. He'd not played Toccata by Weedor this year, so when I told him that's what we wanted, which was what we played when we left, oh, he was so excited. You know, it's one of those kind of organist delights, really, and really give it some stick. So he was pleased about that. There is somebody I'd like to thank, but who can't be here. Graham, you've only got 4 people on your table with you and Andrew, Marion and Lorraine. There should have been a chap called Mike Kay that many of you will know, and his wife Elizabeth. And I don't know exactly what the story is, but apparently Mike had been doing something in the garden yesterday, moving some stuff around. Elizabeth had gone out into the garden to look for something, fallen over whatever Mike had been moving around, managed to break her leg, and is now in Warwick Hospital. So we sent her our love and our sympathies, and we might send her a piece of cake. But is Mike forever going to be in the doghouse?
It's his fault.
It was his fault, yes, absolutely, unquestionably. It always is, isn't it? So I'd like to say a special thank you to you, Stuart, and to you, Andrew, for being my ushers and for ushering so well. Thank you very much indeed. I'll say thank you to you when you've done, but in expectation of a nice, uplifting speech to my good chum and friend, my best man, Steve Jolly. Thank you very much. To thank the bell ringers, who gave us a very joyous exit, and others. So thank you for that. A few last bits. I'd like to thank you for giving your daughter to me, and as you well know, I have form, so you're very great in actually entrusting her to me. So I thank you for that, either sort of steamed up glasses moment, or your faith in me to entrust your daughter to me. But thank you, because she is an absolute treasure to me, and she is a joy to me, as I know she has been to you. So thank you both for looking after her for those years and keeping her for me, which was very nice, so thank you. Two last people to just say quickly thank you to now. One is to you. When I first met Carolyn, which was in Worcester Cathedral, where she used to go and worship, and I did as well, quite separately and independently of one another, and I used to see this funny little thing in a red Mac. And I refer to her now affectionately as my funny little thing, and she likes that, and it's a term of endearment. But I used to see her sitting sometimes in the pews, not near me, we didn't meet for ages and ages, all wrapped up in this red Mac, all buttoned up, all belted, sitting there rather kind of slightly afraid, slightly, what's the word?
Freezing.
No. Most of the things, it's not the warmest place, I have to tell you. But it was more of a kind of, slightly insecure sort of look, you know what I mean? But I've just watched you blossom and grow and come out, and I remember you saying something, that Carolyn always used to have a tendency to be rather on the dull side as far as the colour spectrum is concerned, in her clothing. And I remember on one occasion you turned up at your mum and dad's house in a vibrant orange top, which we bought in France, I think, or somewhere like that. And your mum said, "Oh, Carolyn, how lovely to see you in something other than blue." So I watched you grow and blossom in your spirit, in your outgoings, and you are a treasure to me.
Yeah.
So I love you and I bless you and thank you. Thank you also for putting up with me.
Oh, thank you for putting up with me. I love
What was that phrase you used?
She's quietly persistent.
And the last person I just want to say a thank you to isn't here, but is here. And that's the person that Frank mentioned. And my thanks want to go to Jesus. And I have to tell you that if it wasn't for Jesus and his forgiveness and his love, I would not be standing here now. You would not be at my marriage. You would not be at our marriage. I would have been on what would be called life's scrap heap, because my life was a complete and utter mess and shambles, and I was the most undeserving of people. But he met me and encountered me and changed me, and so I owe him everything that I am and everything that I have. And I was thinking that each of you has one of these on the table in front of you with your name on it. And that spoke to me that actually you're here because you were invited. You're here because you accepted the invitation. And you came knowing that there was a table place laid for you with your name on it as the seal of guarantee that you are here and you are entitled to be here. And that spoke to me of the promise that Jesus has given me and given all of us, that there is a place in heaven reserved for me and for you with our names on it. So I could never take enough time to say thank you to him, but I do, because he has made the most transforming effect on my life. And so that's it. That's the bit from me. Thank you again for all coming. Steve is now, he says with some trepidation, going to say a few words, after which, if I'm right, we're going to have cake, coffee, chocolates, and a loosening of the belts around the waist. Thank you.